Hi, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, if you couldn't tell by the title, I'm going to be talking to you all about my goals and plans for the rest of this year or in this quarter, whether or not I will be participating in NaNoWriMo this November, and what's to come for this channel in the future. So first things first, I cannot believe that it is already closing in on the last half of October. I couldn't tell you where this year has gone. I had so many plans and ideas for 2023, and I feel like I haven't really accomplished a lot of them. I was doing great at the beginning of October, even brought some live streaming back, and then life got really hectic and busy, and now I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. And this is just one step to get back on track. I was hoping to put this video out at the beginning of this month, but it's still technically the beginning of quarter 4, so I'm going to take that as a win. First things first, I should mention that I am planning on joining NaNoWriMo this November. And I have been utilizing this month of October by doing some prepping. So I've been doing Preptober. So far this month, I've been able to outline about half of a contemporary romance that sparked my interests literally like a month ago. And then I've been getting the urge for some sort of paranormal or fantasy itch that I need to scratch, basically. For the past week and a half, I've been thinking so much of vampires, and then of my fantasy romance that I've been working on and off for a few years. And so for the rest of October, I'm planning on not only finishing the outline for the contemporary romance that I've been plotting, but I also want to get a slight outline for a paranormal romance, specifically with vampires, because that's what's really calling to me in the whole paranormal genre right now is vampires. And then I would really like to work out a solid foundation for The Violet Hour as well, which is the fantasy romance that I've been writing and rewriting and reworking for the past couple of years on and off. And that way I have 3 solid projects that I can work on simultaneously whenever my ADHD kicks in and I need the change of atmosphere and genres. Because my writing definitely changes as often as my reading tastes. I could be on a couple month binge of reading just contemporary romance, and then one day it just snaps and I don't read contemporary romance for 5 months. And it could be one day I'm in the mood for reading a paranormal, and then literally hours later, I could be in the mood for a fantasy. It's just, it's crazy how that works. But that's how my writing is as well. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why it happens, but it's just something that I just have to work with my brain rather than hindering it. Because I know that in the past I've tried to just work on one project and then my brain rebels. But anyways, I'd like to have a good idea of where each of these 3 stories or projects are going, so that if I do end up hyperfixating on one of the stories, there's a clear goal in mind. So that's the plan for the rest of October, is just continuing on with this prepping. I'm planning on vlogging the rest of my Preptober journey for y'all. So be on the lookout for some Preptober vlogs. Then in November, I'm going to stick with trying to get 50,000 words in 1 month, but I'm not going to force myself to focus on getting all of those words in just the one project, especially since I have the urge to write contemporary romance, paranormal, and fantasy all at the same time. I just know that if I get hung up on writing all those words in just one project, I'm going to rebel even more, and then when I don't get much writing done, I'm going to be really, really upset with myself. So I'm not going to contain myself to just one project. I'm going to work simultaneously in the 3 projects for wherever my brain takes me. And that's basically because over the years, I've found what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And something that I've found out about myself is that when I force myself to not touch any other project except for the one that I am currently working on, I rebel. I rebel so hard. And when I rebel, I literally work on nothing. And then it's like months down the line and nothing has been accomplished. And then I feel like really crappy about myself. So I'm not going to put myself into just one little box. I'm going to let my ADHD brain take me on this journey, and hopefully I am able to get 50,000 words. And if it's in one project, great. If it's in 2 projects, whatever. I'm not going to be upset with myself, because in the long scheme of things, 50,000 words in 1 month is amazing. Like, I've never once gotten 50,000 words in 1 month. Well, I mean, there was the time in November of 2016, but I didn't really count that because 1, it was a lot of rewriting, and 2, it was like 4 or 5 different projects, and I was just trying to get the win of Nano, and it was just chaos. So in my mind, I don't really take that as a win, but it technically was a win, but whatever. And then in December, I'd like to continue finishing the projects that I've started in November. So that way when the new year comes, I have some like revising to look into and be one step closer to my dream of being a published author. As for the future of this channel, I'm planning on making a few changes. I want to start incorporating some of my reading videos over here. Currently, I have 2 channels. That is this writing channel, and then I also have a booktube channel called Stuff in Wonderland. And every single time I focus my energy on the booktube channel, this channel gets put to the wayside, and then whenever I focus my energy on this channel, my booktube channel goes to the wayside. And I've been more consistent on my writing channel than I have on my booktube channel. And reading and writing are pretty similar. I feel like they intertwine a lot, and I feel like it would be okay to incorporate some of my reading vlogs and other like maybe some tag videos, maybe a TBR here and there. But I really do miss doing some reading vlogs and other reading activities and sharing that with everyone, because ultimately I'm a book girly. Like, I started off reading at a very young age, and I've always been a reader, whether it was the Nancy Drew books or the Babysitter's Club, you know, back in the day. I was also obsessed with Laura Ingalls Wilder's The Little House on the Prairie books. I have a box set, like a really old box set somewhere up there that my grandma gave me when I was like 7 or something. And that's really where the stem of my love of reading came from, which is where the stem of loving storytelling. And I feel like they just they intermingle so often. And while it was an idea to keep those two parts of me separate, it's just so hard to keep it separate because I feel like I get pulled in two different directions whenever I want to do reading activities and whenever I want to do writing activities. And then I feel like my goals for my writing either get put to the wayside, or I go on like a total reading slump because I'm focusing solely on just writing activities, and I don't want to neglect either one anymore. This way, if I'm not doing any writing that week, I can easily do a reading vlog or another type of a reading activity, and vice versa. That way I'm not neglecting both channels, and this channel just grows and is more consistent, even more. And because that's what's happened in the past, is both channels have gotten neglected for months on end because I got into a writing slump and then a reading slump, and then it was so hard to get back on track with doing any kind of video, and I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to try and combine it a little bit. And then, of course, there's going to be some planning stuff or bullet journaling sprinkled in between because that's also part of my life. So I will be brainstorming some new channel names and changing the name of this channel from SK Durbis to something that encapsulates reading and writing and a bit of planning. And with that, I will also be evaluating what is currently on my Patreon. Right now it is focused heavily on my writing, but I'd like to have some reading stuff on there as well, such as maybe bringing a book club, because I really do miss doing like a book of the month type of thing. And I think like a reading book club could be really fun, and it could help us not only get away from the mundane and bring some fun into our lives, but also we could look at those books and see how they could better our own writing stuff. So I feel like it's just going to help in the long run. But I am still brainstorming all of that, and hopefully that will be ready to go in December or January of the new year. With all of that said, I really hope y'all have been doing great, and I'm excited to start this new journey with you. Let me know down in the comments if you're planning on participating in NaNoWriMo, what you're currently reading or loving right now, and what do you want to see more on this channel. If you could go ahead and smash that red subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate and love you forever for it. And also, if you could hit the like button if you liked this video. It does help let other people see this video. But as always, until next time, happy writing!